Objection! The
Or just make
DL6
things go
incident.
good. I don't know. That day, I had gone to the courtroom to observe one of my father's trials. As we went to leave, an earthquake struck, trapping us in the elevator.
He's afraid of those.
My father and Mr. Yogi lost their composure and began to argue. Just then, something heavy fell at my feet. I picked it up and threw it at Mr. Yogi. I wanted them to stop fighting. A moment later, there was a single gunshot, then a scream. It was a terrible scream. I remember it to this day.
It went... Kidding.
That's all. And until now you thought this memory was a dream? We were stuck in that elevator for 5 hours. The oxygen in the elevator ran out, and I lost my memory of the events. Bah, the same claim Mr. Yogi has made.
It was probably some kind of neurotoxin or something that Von Karma planted so that he'd be able to kill... He could kill whatever... He could kill Edward's son in 15 years.
Very well. Mr. Wright, your cross-examination, please.
Yes, Your Honor. Why do you laugh so hard?
It's just silly.
I'm just spitballing. Anything's possible at this point. So, the DL6 incident. Hold it right there. What was the trial your father was involved in on that day?
I don't remember things very clearly. Only 2 things. I know my father lost and Mr. Von Karma was the prosecuting attorney.
Oh, I got a little bit excited.
Mr. Von Karma, you were handling that case. It was 15 years ago. I don't remember the details.
That was when Edgeworth pointed out the problem in Von Karma's evidence. So, there were 3 people, including yourself, trapped in that elevator.
Yes, myself, my father, and Yanni Yogi.
And right off screen was Von Karma.
We were fine at first, but then as time passed and no one came to help.
Dude, being trapped in an elevator is fucking awful.
Yeah, it's scary.
I get a little... I don't use elevators very much, and I'm glad.
I have a story about being trapped in an elevator. It has a happy ending. What did you do then?
I was a 9-year-old boy at the time. What could I do?
Die.
I was scared, trembling in the corner, but then...
Ah, that's what he does when there's an earthquake. Ah, this loser.
I like that bit. I like that bit.
I do too.
What was it?
A pistol. I assume it was the bailiff, Yanni Yogi's. The safety must have come off when it fell from his holster. And you picked it up. What happened next?
There's so many assumptions that are happening.
Well, I mean, it was a 15-year-old crime, and he was 9.
Yeah. Did you know it was a pistol when you threw it?
I think I knew. I knew it was dangerous. But the air was getting so thick, I panicked. So you're saying that you threw the pistol at Mr. Yogi? I was in a daze.
The gun fired once?
Yes. I think after I threw it, I lost consciousness. Since then, they've echoed in my head every day. That gunshot and that horrible scream.
The scream of air flowing in through a small hole in the window. I don't know. To this day...
Yes, I can practically hear it now. I doubt I will ever forget that scream as long as I live.
There it is! One part of that testimony clearly contradicts the evidence. But I don't know what it means. Don't know what it means. I'd better find out, and quick.
Alright, just present it. You know exactly what it is, right? See, like half the shit is only relevant to the first fucking trial.
Oh, there was a bullet in his heart and one through the window.
Yeah.
That's two shots.
Yep.
That's the evidence I need to present.
Yep.
Yeah.
But where to present it? Yeah.
I got it!
You did it!
I did
I
it!
didn't even have to help on that one.
So there was only one gunshot? Oh, I forgot to say objection.
Yes, I'm sure of that. I heard the shot and the scream. Then everything faded. I was unconscious until the rescuers came. I see.
Ah, Your Honor, unfortunately you don't see. Take a look at this photograph. This is a photograph of the scene of the crime 15 years ago, and in it lies a clear contradiction to Mr. Edgeworth's testimony.
Well, I can see the victim, Gregory Edgeworth, lying there. But what do you mean, a contradiction?
Just as I thought, the judge is clueless. As always. See, I'm going to show the judge the contradiction in the photo.
Look at this photograph. Look at this bullet hole.
Put my finger in the hole. As should be obvious, the contradiction is here.
I see a bullet hole in the door.
Your Honor, Miles Edgeworth testifies that there was only one gunshot. However, according to this photograph, not one but two shots were fired. One shot hit the victim and the other hit the elevator door. I ask you then, why did Miles Edgeworth only hear one gunshot?
This photograph does seem to confirm a second shot. However, when was the hole in the elevator made? It might have been there before the incident occurred.
If it had, it wouldn't have
If
been
it was there
airtight.
before, it has nothing to do with this incident.
Irk.
Mr. Wright, do you have proof that this bullet hole was caused at the time of the incident?
Check the, maybe... Really? You only have 3 pieces of evidence, really, anymore.
Yeah. It's this one. Right? In the case summary.
Maybe.
Or wait, no, here.
Yeah.
Yeah, yep, victim data. Yes. Your Honor, I think I'll be able to show you the proof.
What? Impossible! Now, Mr. Von Karma, save your surprise for after you've seen the evidence. Very well, Mr. Wright, show us your proof. What do you have that proves the bullet hole in the door was related to this incident?
Boop, I'm a lawyer.
I'm a lawyer, that's why, motherfucker!
I get to do it because the prosecuting attorney gets to do it, right? Oh, victim data. I forgot that I have to present this and then say victim data.
Yeah.
Victim data. Your Honor, the answer's in this file in the victim data section. I'm not going to forget it this time.
You do enjoy dragging out that file, don't you?
I do enjoy dragging out evidence, yes.
I don't accept this evidence unless you can tell us what page it's on. An impossible task! Which page shows the link between this bullet hole and the DL6 incident?
I have to check. Victim data.
You were so confident that you
Look
would
at
have
the victim
to.
data in this file. I knew what it was. I just had to check. Thank you, Mind Goblins. It says quite plainly the murder weapon was fired twice. Suck a dick, Von Karma. You have a small penis. Miles Edgeworth only heard one gunshot, yet the murder weapon was fired twice!
Order! Mr. Wright, what are you driving at?
I don't have my license, Your Honor. You know this. Why would
In the
you say
next
this?
trial, he says something about how he should probably get one.
Oof. So you do know this. You've hurt my feelings. It's simple, Your Honor. At the time of the incident, 2 shots were fired. One went into Greg Edgeworth's heart, and the other hit the elevator door. Remember that the defendant lost consciousness after the shot he fired rang out. In conclusion, we must agree that the second shot was fired by someone else.
Mr. Wright, but who else could that someone be?
The murderer, of course! You dumb fuck! Von Karma,
I
you
knew I
stupid
should have
son of a
stepped
bitch.
in before your wild fantasies got out of hand. Mr. Wright, look once more at the DL6 incident case file. Look closely. Try the case summary page.
Okay. It's on page 1. Okay.
Look what is written there. Not a single clue was found on the scene. If the pistol had indeed been fired 2 times, then the other bullet would have been discovered on the scene. He does have a point. That second bullet has never been found. Why? Because the second bullet does not exist. The bullet that claimed Gregory Edgeworth's life was the one fired by his own son. That is the truth of this matter, the whole truth. It was undoubtedly something else that made that bullet hole in the door.
You just described it as a bullet hole! You just described it as a bullet hole!
There's a lot of shootouts in this courtroom. Fuck. Actually, there is, like, another murder that has taken place in this courthouse. And then also a bombing that takes place that results in a murder. There's a lot of shit that happens in this fucking courthouse.
Order! I will have order! Mr. Wright has proven one thing to us quite clearly. That the murder weapon was fired twice at the time of the incident. However, as Mr. Von Karma says, the second bullet fired was not found. It is highly unlikely that the police merely overlooked this second bullet. So all we have is the single bullet fired. I'm afraid I have to discount the defense's claim. I praise the judge for his wisdom in this matter.
How'd this happen? I don't believe that the second bullet didn't exist. Was I wrong? Have I been wrong about this whole incident?
What are you doing, Nick? Why aren't you raising an objection?
I'm sorry, Maya.
What?
It looks like I was wrong.
Nick?
If the second bullet wasn't there, then all my contributions were for nothing.
No. But you said you'd do it, Nick. You said you'd get Edgeworth declared innocent.
Yeah, I'm sorry. It's just, when I saw the photograph, I thought 2 shots had been fired. I was so certain of it. I thought I'd won. I thought there was another person.
Mr. Wright, do you need to go outside for a minute?
Shut the fuck up! You're not my dad! I thought there was another person. Someone else who fired the killing shot. But now, I was wrong to think it could be that simple. This case has been unsolved for 15 years!
Nick, you need to please stop crying. Everyone's staring. It's quite awkward.
Okay.
Well, it seems that we have finally cleared up this incident. Only 1 bullet was found at the scene of the crime. That shot was fired by Miles Edgeworth. Precisely. I would like to ask one thing of Miles Edgeworth before passing my verdict. Have you been paying attention to the trial so far? Yes, Your Honor. Do you have any objections?
3 lawyers in the courtroom.
Yeah.
No, I do not. So you killed your father, though that was not your intention? Yes, I did.
Oh no.
4th lawyer appears.
He's accepted the guilt.
Very well. The statute of limitations on the murder of Gregory Edgeworth runs out today. Therefore, I must pronounce a verdict on the defendant today, right here. Right now!
Right here! Right now!
Indeed! Does anyone have any objections?
I've been here before. It's just like my first day in court. There's so many things I know I should be saying, but my mind's gone blank. I can't find the words.
Mr. Wright?
This is an important. I have it for a reason.
Yeah.
Was it just to show me that this means 2 shots?
Maybe.
I don't fucking know. I have an objection. I'll come up with it while you ask. Your Honor, I object.
Mr. Wright, on what grounds do you object?
Oof. Oh, beans.
Nick.
I don't know. His case is perfect.
Oh no.
It
Must exist. The second bullet.
What? What did you just say?
Nothing.
The second bullet must exist, but where?
Someone took it.
It's in Von Karma's pocket.
It seems waiting is not going to produce us any answers from Mr. Wright.
Wait, Your Honor. The second bullet, it existed.
What? Well, we've just heard proof that it did not exist.
I realize that, Your Honor. I'm really grasping here. It's just someone took it from the scene of the crime. That's what happened.
But who?
The murderer.
The murderer? Then tell us, just who is this murderer?
I'm still thinking about that one.
So the criminal took the second bullet? But why?
Huh?
First of all, how would they have found it? It's not easy to find a stray bullet, Mr. Wright. Was there some pressing need for the murderer to search for the bullet?
The murderer had to find it. Of course there was a need, that's why they took it.
What possible reason could they have had?
Well, the reason the murderer took the bullet away from the scene with them is because the bullet would be proof. Maybe they thought the bullet would be used as proof. I mean,
Proof?
it was a special bullet, so they took it with them.
If that was the case, then they should have taken the bullet from inside Gregory as well.
Huh?
Why would they only take one of the two shots fired?
All right.
Mr. Wright, have you really thought this through?
No.
I'm going to have to penalize you.
Well, I'm just gonna brute force this one. Alright, this is going well.
Was there some pressing need for the murderer to search for the bullet?
I did have to say, okay, real quick, I feel like the murderer had to find it is important. And then the answer is whatever I didn't say on the other one.
I don't know about that. What makes you so... Okay, he's asking about the need for the murderer to search for the bullet.
Oh, he didn't need to search for it.
Maybe he knew already where it was.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but the murderer had to find it.
No, he didn't find it. He didn't have to find it.
But he
'cause
needed
knew where
the
it
bullet.
was.
He needed the bullet, and the is it just because it's localized?
I'm trying to help you.
Okay, what?
I'm trying to help you. I'm trying to help you without just saying the answer, Nick!
The murderer didn't need it. Why would the murderer have spent the time to look for that straight bullet? I haven't got a clue. What's wrong, Mr.
What's
Wright?
wrong, Mr. Wright? The murderer had no reason to take that bullet. You don't want to admit it, but it's true.
Irk.
Had to take it.
Had to take it. The murder, what does that mean?
You're thinking too normal. Think crazy. Don't think why the bullet was taken. Think why the bullet had to be taken.
Mr. Wright!
Yes, Your
Stop
Honor.
going so
I
fast!
have no idea what I'm doing. Well, the murderer had no intention of taking the bullet from the scene, but the murderer had to take that bullet.
Had to, Mr. Wright? What do you mean?
Well, for instance what? Maybe the bullet hit the murderer?
The bullet hit the murderer?
Just saying. For instance, I mean, if it hit you, you would have to take it with you, wouldn't you? It's not like you could perform surgery right there. You know? That's why you're always holding your arm, because that's where you got shot, you fuck! Wait a second. I was just talking out of my ass. What did that really happen?
Let me get this straight. So at the time of the murderer themselves was shot, and they left with the second bullet still inside them, thus leaving only one bullet at the scene of the crime.
Yep. I guess that's what it, yep.
But there's a problem with that. The other two people rescued from that elevator, Miles Edworth and Yanni Yogi, were both unharmed. So that would mean...
The murderer came from outside, yep. As he shot him through the window. Miles shot... The two men fight inside the elevator. Trying to stop them, the boy picks up the pistol at his feet and throws it. The pistol discharges and the bullet goes through the elevator door and hits Von Karma outside.
It's All Might.
It's All Might. But it wouldn't...
That looked like All Might.
It
When
did.
he gets mad.
Yeah, it did. Fuck. The boy loses consciousness. Then the murderer opens the elevator door and sees the men inside. Pow.
Mr. Wright, you are truly the most unpredictable defense attorney I've ever known. I can tell you're grasping, yet I cannot deny the possibility of what you say. What are you saying? Deny it! Deny it! No one involved with the incident was wounded. There was no murderer.
No one was wounded at the time of the incident. He's right. I can't think of anyone.
Hey, Nick.
Huh?
I just thought of something really crazy.
Is it what I've been saying for the past 20 minutes? Crazy.
Remember what Mr. Grossberg said yesterday? Maybe.
Gregory Edgeworth dealt a powerful blow to his perfect trial record.
Wow.
I feel like there was more...
I'm trying... dude, I've been doing Von Karma. My throat is shot.
You must have been quite a shock for Von Karma.
He took American for several months after that, you see. He has seen an unusual event before the man.
I should be doing these voices.
No.
That was the first and the last vacation he's taken in his many years of prosecuting.
Oh, because he got shot.
What if Von Karma didn't take that vacation because of shock?
But took it because he was shocked. Shot.
Which would
Shot.
mean...
Good. It could only mean one thing. He was the
He
murderer.
was the murderer in the DL6 incident!
He was the murderer in the DL6 incident. I mean, he was the man who shot Gregory Edgeworth. Why'd we say the same thing over and over?
It was Von Karma!
Oh, fuck!
Something wrong, Mr. Wright? You seem dazed.
No, Your Honor.
Well, you have indicated the possibility that the murderer came from outside. Can you give us the name of your suspect?
Should I come out and say it now? Yep.